We're at the tipping point again. This seems to be on a repeat cycle, about a 7-year cycle we go through in our life. And 2020 was a huge opportunity for people. So if you know a pendulum swings back and forth, okay? Sometimes it swings in a circle, but anyway, swings back and forth. And what ends up happening is the pendulum is trying to be balanced. The world is constantly trying to balance itself. And what happens is that when the pendulum swings too far one way, because people have pushed it in that direction, the world is trying to pull it back down to balance. So it will level and correct itself. 2019 was a pivotal moment where we were building up and we needed to come back down again. So we pushed it so far in the direction of inversion from inversion from true, authentic state of being in alignment and coherence. And so because we were many people wearing masks, lacking authenticity, manipulation, lies, untruths, the world was literally flipped. So 2020 was the opportunity for everyone to gain clear vision, 2020 vision, on where they were lacking, where they were steering their focus in wrong directions. It was time for you to start being accountable in your life and redirecting, excuse me, and recalibrating exactly who you were supposed to be. And so the opportunity came where people were able to see the truth, see the facts, only when the eyes and ears of their heart were open. Many people lack clear direction in their life, and this was a very pivotal moment. Now, what most people did was they attempted to, the world is trying to correct itself, and the pendulum is starting to swing back down to balance. And what most people did was they kept pushing against the current, pushing against the flow of life in order to maintain their toxic patterning. That toxic family dynamic that the majority of people signed up for and contracted with, because it was their comfort space, even when it was uncomfortable, when it lacked comfort, they still were comfortable in it because it's what they knew. So what they started to do is push against this balancing act that the world is trying to do to bring us into harmony. The veil started to dissolve for those of us who internalized that process. When you internalize the process, you're dealing with the debt as it comes. You are mirroring to yourself from the external circumstance and situations, and you're reflecting on what you can learn from it, where you have been steering your focus in the wrong directions. You were given the opportunity to go internally and shift and be accountable and correct your wrongs. And what those people did who wanted to maintain the toxic patterning is they displaced their energy. They compartmentalized and fragmented themselves rather than dealing with the energetic debt, not the physical debt, rather than dealing with the energetic debt that was coming their way that they needed to correct and balance in their own lives. They displaced that energy outward, externally, which caused them to be fragmented and losing parts of themselves. So now there's this space 7 years later where we've come to the pivotal moment where rather than the pendulum being balanced, which we were given the opportunity 3 years ago to balance that, because the truth was being seen. There was so much being spoken personally, in community-wise, worldwide, where people were all given the opportunity to stop and correct because the truth was seen and spoken. And the majority of people in malevolent positions, rather than it being balanced, they're like, oh, I'm just going to push it the opposite direction. So now the pendulum is like swinging way over here again. Rather than being balanced, people pushed it way too far because they really didn't want it to be here. Because that means they need to actually grow and learn and be countable. So now we're at the end of the empire because we're way up here and we're at this tipping point where you were given the opportunity to correct, you chose not to, so the world's going to correct you for you. We're in 2026. It's the end of the 7-year cycle. And what's happening is it's a triple fire year, and it's the fire horse. But it's triple fire, not even. So what's happening is you are being forced into authenticity. You are being forced to sit and reflect on everything you pieced out and you compartmentalized and fragmented of yourself. You're now being forced to sit with it. The universe is like, no, that's it. This is time. You've been given more than enough opportunity to correct your actions. So now what's happening, because the pendulum swung way over this way, is we've got gender identity confusion, which happens at the end of every single empire. We have people unclear in the direction they're going in their life. We have people who are so skeptical of everything. Everything. We're skeptical of our family. We're skeptical of our friends. We're skeptical of our coworkers. We're skeptical about the posts and the videos that we see online because of all of this AI, CGI, Project Bluebeam, like all of this stuff. People who followed along with the narrative, did everything that they were told, and they still are not receiving what was promised. How could you not be skeptical? Now, there is a healthy skepticism where you discern what is for you and what is not for you. And then there's also hyper-skepticism, which is where you've created a distorted reality around you. And you're so skeptical that you trust nothing, not even yourself, not even your own internal guidance. So, what can you take from this? If you have not done the internal work yet, you're going to be forced into it. You're going to see the universe give you the same signs that it's been showing you over the past 7 years, but now it's going to be forcing you into those decisions you refused to look at. If you remained with somebody who you knew for more than 10 years, you knew you shouldn't be with them, there's going to be something happen, a tower moment where they're removed from your life or you're removed from theirs. There's going to be places and situations you're forced into where the decisions will have to be made. If you've made false claims in the courts against an innocent woman or man or child, the judge is going to see the facts. And you're going to be forced to be accountable. There are corporations, there are entities, there are people, there are prime ministers being caught with children on their computers, which law enforcement have hidden for years. Now you're seeing that. Law enforcement officers giving confidential information to gang members and secret societies and in order to continue with the organized crime, they're being investigated. There are secret societies that are being called out for huge crimes, and all of these guys have no prior criminal record. Why do you think that is? There's been all of this inversion from the pendulum being way over here because everyone wanted to hide who they were. They wanted to steal your innocence. They wanted to control you and steal your free choice from you. And they're like, no, I'm not going to be seen. I'm not going to be seen. I'm going to just push against it. Oh, well, the pendulum's way over here now. So everything is seen. Everything was recorded. You think you get away with anything now? They have biohacking. They have the wireless body area of networks. Everything is digital. Everything is recorded in the book of life. The spiritual realm, 11:11. The spiritual realms see everything. The physical realm, you think that you're the only organization doing anything because you're the one that's in the news, in the media? You don't think there's organizations outside of you tracking you? This world has been crazy for too long, and Satan's little season is over. So I need you to keep the faith, and I need you to go internally and you process obsessively in a healthy way, because you really want to find out who you are and you want to return to wholeness. Persistence to understand your own behavior. Obsessing over somebody else who's not even in your life, someone that you may see on social media, someone who's in the news, someone who's in these corporations that self-initiate themselves to have control over the people. There is Judgment Day was like the final was last year. 1221. We're mirroring right now. We're mirroring everything that's already happened in the spiritual. The court is over. The court is adjourned. Court was in session last year and over the past 6 years. So I'm not sure what side of history you're going to be on, but I definitely know where I am. And I am grateful for the resilience and resourcefulness that I've had over the past 6 years to see and know exactly what was happening. And I am very grateful to know that I'm not the only one who did this deep inner healing and deep inner reflection. I'm a voluntary scholar, and I chose to learn the most about myself, my own behaviors, and those around me. And it's given me discernment. And I pray that each and every one of you, whether this is your moment right now to finally stop and correct, or when those tower moments hit, I pray that you see the good in that and that you no longer have to hide. You're accepted for the mistakes you've made. You're forgiven. But if you continue to fight and be malevolent towards those of us who are innocent and those of us who are here with purpose and you have delayed it, do you have any idea what's coming for you? Judgment Day has come and gone in the spiritual, and it's just finally catching up in the physical. So I wish bliss for each and every one of you, no matter what you've chosen for your life and the legacy of the young ones you leave behind. Mwah.